when you look at what's happened with this team, everybody made fun of the word process, but the process has taken place. And when you have high draft picks and you don't give up and you weed out those you don't want to move forward, they built the roster and they stayed incredibly with their head coach, who was an excellent head coach. They run really good stuff on offense, and they compete defensively. And now think about this. How many teams on their way to 50 wins after the All-Star break or around that time add 3 great pieces to the team? Bellinelli was one. Ilyasova was the second. And then you have to think about this. They added Fultz.
Markelle Fultz.
Okay, the #1 pick who hadn't played for him all season. He comes back, and he's given them a little bit of speed and quickness and one-on-one ability. This is a really deep team.
The Bellinelli-Ilyasova additions are so interesting because typically those types of players, Golden State, Houston, Cleveland, teams, those guys go. The buyout market goes for guys. They want to go try to win a championship. I got my money from this other team. They bought me out. Let me go try and win a championship. Philadelphia kept the roster and cap flexibility to be able to bring those guys in, and they were good enough already that those teams, those players could sign there and say, we can still make a deep playoff run. Since Christmas, we're talking about today will be the 50th game they've played since Christmas. That is the majority of the season. Second best record in the NBA. Second best defense in the NBA, the best net rating, so point differential in the NBA over an enormous stretch of time. I can't remember seeing a team this young playing this well. People will bring up the Thunder with Durant and Russ and Harden, but they didn't play at this level when one of those guys was a rookie, when one of those guys was a second-year player, as Embiid essentially is. Like, a team this young, like, is there precedent for it in your eyes, this young playing this well?
I know that I had a team in Cleveland at one time where we started 3 rookies, and brought the 4th one.
And who were those rookies, Coach?
It was Zydrunas Ilgauskas,
Yep.
Brevin Knight, Cedric Henderson, and then the 4th one was the kid Anderson out of Kentucky. And what happened was I was starting him, and then I realized we'll be better if we bring him off the bench for scoring. So about 12, 14 games in, I sat down with Derek, talked to him, and said, listen, we need you coming off the bench, and then you'll be on the floor at the end of games. Henderson gave us a 6'8" long defender. Couldn't make shots. Probably would have won 4 more games if he could make a 15-footer. But he defended, he ran. It gave us great balance with that first unit. But that group, the point is, 4 rookies won 47 games that year with the Cavaliers.
Now, Coach, one thing that we like to be the show, and it's nice to have you, to talk about coaches. Very few basketball shows, they talk about the marquee guys, talk about the rotation. They don't talk about the coaches. I believe coaching is very important, especially at the professional level. You talked about you have to believe in the process, because also in the process, they didn't kill the coach. Typically, a guy who compounds those types of losses, they're going to fire him. So one is, how good is the coach? And number 2 is, and you talked about this, and I've been following your career, you've always done a great job with basketball development. You're developing the younger guys up under you. How good of a job has Philadelphia done in developing these guys in their overall character and their overall basketball skill?
Chris, it starts, as you know, even before that, it starts with the evaluation of the talent before they pick them, select them. Because oftentimes, guys get high picks and don't do a good job. Anthony Bennett in Cleveland, number 1 pick.
The entire last decade in Orlando.
You have to have people, personnel people, that understand who can play and who can't play in the NBA. Philly's done a very good job of identifying that. And look, everybody makes a mistake, but if you make a mistake, move it on quickly.
Right. They
Don't
made a
tell
mistake
anybody
on
else
Michael
it was a
Carter
mistake.
Williams, and they
we
flipped
happen to have this guy available if you want him. Okay? You know? However you word it, get him out of there and move on. You made a mistake. Okay, don't keep him to prove a point. Well, they've believed in Brown. Brown and his staff have done an incredible job developing. Think about this. We don't even talk about Saric. If Sarge was on another team, he'd be like, wow, this guy's young, he's talented, shoots threes, rebounds, can get you 25 points. Wouldn't even talk about him on this team. It's incredible.
Quickly, you talked about these young guys, and I'm just wondering if that parlays itself into experience and the lack thereof, and what that means when you head into the postseason. Or are you concerned about them at all because of their lack of experience, or what you've seen over this last 15-game stretch sort of leaves you without any concern? When
I was doing talk shows 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I was saying, yeah, this Philly run is great. However, when it gets to the playoffs, we got to watch out. They're young. Okay? Now they've added They had Reddick in the starting unit. Now they've added Ilyasova, Bellinelli, guys who have had big games under their belts. I think this group is talented enough. Watch out if you get them. I asked a couple coaches about 2 weeks ago, who would you not want to see in the playoffs? Cleveland, they said, and Philadelphia was the second team that they would not want to meet in the playoffs. They could be so young and so hungry and so excited that they're dangerous.
It's impressive to have that many talented young players and to have we asked the question, will Joel Embiid, will he reach his potential? Yeah. Well, Ben Simmons, will he reach his? Yeah. Markelle being back playing. Man, that's promising to have all these top-rated players, because most of these players were ranked number one. All three of them were ranked number one in their draft class. To have them progressing, to have Joel Embiid to be the superstar, to have Ben Simmons recover from his injury, and to have an injury-free season where he has been a dominant player, and you have seen him evolve, that now he's going from 1 feet to 4 feet as far as his shooting range. Like, this is important. The head coach. The organization to say, man, the process works. The process does work. Now they have some proof in the pudding. So it's very impressive. And the end of the stretch where they've shown some maturity without Joel Embiid.
That's it.
Where they have been able to win in a different type of way, I think is even more impressive than winning the 15 in a row.
The day Joel Embiid went down, I came on TV and said, or I guess the day after, and said, if the Sixers want to stay the 3 seed or be the 3 seed, they're going to have to go undefeated the rest of the season. They're going to have to go 9-0 to finish the season if they are going to be the 3 seed. At that point, we knew Kyrie was questionable, and we now know he's out for the playoffs. We knew how important it was for them to be the 3 seed. And while their schedule was soft, they had a game against Cleveland. They had the tough game tonight against the Bucks coming up. I didn't think they could do it. They're 1 game away from doing it. The extra experience I believe they will get in the postseason by being the 3 seed if they win tonight. First round win, second round win where you'll be favored over Boston is invaluable. That's what that's how Ben Simmons locked up Rookie of the Year. Without Joel Embiid over these last 2 weeks, they have not lost. He's nearly averaging a triple-double. But then the team as a whole, once you get Embiid back, how good are they? Well, since Christmas, they've been the second best team in the NBA. They've had the best defense in the NBA, the best point differential in the NBA. That's a 50-game sample that we're talking about. So I think they're too young and too green to make the finals, to win 3 playoff rounds. But could they win 1 playoff round? Absolutely. Could they win 2 playoff rounds? No. Yeah, they could. And that would be a year or 2 ahead of what I thought was realistic progress for a team that won 28 games last year.
Quickly, just talk about why it's so important for them to land in that 3 seed.
Because, first of all, Indiana's good. We don't talk about them. Oladipo's good. Their coach has been great this year, and Nate McMillan. They're a deep team. Miles Turner's a good player. So you avoid them in the first round. But most importantly, it's round 2. It's that Cleveland now has to play Toronto. If you're the 4 seed, you have to play Toronto and Cleveland, most likely. If you're the 3 seed, you get an injured Boston team, and then only one of Cleveland or Toronto. That's why tonight's game, it's been an amazing 2 weeks for them. It's been an amazing month for them. They got to win tonight against Milwaukee.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.